Good morning, guys. It's July 15th. Stopping here at the garden just to give a walkthrough. Just like I said, I'm gonna make more videos and let people know what's going on, get a little bit more exposure. There are a ton of different organizations doing good work in the city. They don't all get the exposure they deserve, I guess. Um, and then there are a lot of grifters too, just to throw that out there. So be circumspect and careful of whom you support and give your financial support to, as we all work hard to earn our wages. That being said, let's get into this. So here we are outside of the garden. From the outside view, you can see changes. If you look at videos from the previous years, you see some changes. I did make a video about this before. Never posted it, unfortunately. I can see, just from there, I can see a couple of problems here. So I have this butternut squash going behind this fence I put up, and it is coming out. So I'm going to have to deal with that. So give me a second, and we'll be right back to it. All right, so these leaves are humongous, and I didn't bring a pair of pruners. What's going to happen is I'm going to have to prune this vine and just encourage it to grow inside. And as you can see, we have some squash fruits grown, butternut squash, staple as far as I'm concerned. I've changed my priorities. Instead of trying to grow whimsical things, I've decided to focus on shelf-stable stuff. Let me see, we have bird droppings on this cucumber. I'm gonna send this back through, and I'm gonna probably need to, tie this on. But excuse me. I'll do that, tie that on, encourage it to go up. So then we have cucumbers there. We have cucumbers growing in here. Might need to prune that back a little bit, encourage it to continue to grow up. This fencing. So we'll tuck that. Excuse me, I'm not capturing this well, but kind of tuck it. And the best thing to do is to try to get this stuff done while the leaves are smaller. This is the butternut squash running over. I believe that is butternut squash down there. Yep. So anyway, this is a kale plant that self-seeded essentially. We had kale in the garden last year, and it just grew back in and of itself. So that's the outside, and we have this butternut squash growing again outside of the fencing. The fence was constructed this way so that I could continue to receive drops of wood chips and logs. Have this morning glory growing everywhere, and that's and some other vine, I'm not sure what it is, but doing your best to keep these things contained is a regular task, and you have to be diligent. I'm gonna do my best, guys, not to make this too long, but that's what we got going on there. So what I'll probably do, if I get a chance, is again, send that back through, tie it up, and what have you. Again, I've dealt with these vines on several occasions. As you can see, the dead foliage, a browning foliage. Sunflower patch is not in its normal place. These are again self-seeded or seeded by birds per se. They like to spread the sunflower seeds everywhere. So Again, this is where I get my wood chips generally, logs that have been here for a while that I need to process. Have some community events I want to do. I want to use the logs for essentially grilling and cooking. All right, my son and I put this fence together. It's not complicated. It's just pallets stabilized by another pallet every 8 foot. Just to keep a lot of trash out. That's been the biggest thing I've been dealing with. As you can see, trash. Not so bad this week, but there are weeks where it's horrendous. So we have corn here, right? And again, being diligent about keeping these weeds and such out. But I still have a bunch of grass growing at the bottom. Shouldn't do too much. Unfortunately, sometimes I leave cardboard. Everywhere I use cardboard to snuff out some of the weeds sometimes in different places. Just make sure you take off the tape. But again, we have corn. Corn, I believe it's early sweet corn. It's like 85 days. There is something definitely eating it, for sure. We do have possum. No, the raccoon. The raccoon comes in and demolishes the corn sometimes. So hopefully we don't have that. But that's not a raccoon. I don't know what that is. We have a couple of tomato plants. I believe these are beefsteak. And what happened was, with all the rain, these things grew like crazy, and I didn't get a chance to prune and support these. I'm gonna let this grow wild and see what happens. But over here is stuff that I trellised up, and I'm gonna have to trellis up a little bit more, or tied up, excuse me, to support. Just support it on the gate. It's that simple. What I want to do is get some more fencing and run fencing from that edge all the way around, at least to there, so we can have more support to work on these tomatoes. We already have fruits going, by the way. Should have came closer. I had to get rid of some stuff to prune these back. These were easier to get to prune through than this area. So I did. But even here, you can see you have fruits. You have tons of fruits in there. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see. Yeah, tons. Right, so here's what it is. And we have weeds everywhere. I have wood and pallets everywhere. What a beautiful sunflower. Those pallets are things I've been working on. These are zinnias, zinnias, depending on who you ask. Looks like we have some random kale. I did not sow that. I'll probably get rid of it. We'll see. Sometimes things that self-sow grow the best, so we'll see what happens. It looks like we have some sunflowers falling over here, so I'm gonna have to pull that out. But again, this was self-seeded, so I just let it go and just pulled out plants as I needed to make paths to get to certain things. This is a squash plant. I can't see. Okay, this is a white scallop squash. I'm gonna have to get the vine out of here before it's too late. This will produce massively eventually. Once it starts producing, it produces a ton, like a ton. Last year we grew potatoes underneath some sunflowers, and I just didn't use this area this year. It's okay. Another reason for leaving these sunflowers the way they are is what I noticed wherever I grow sunflowers, and I've heard this before, but experiencing it for yourself, the soil is loose the next year. It's great for planting. And then you can chop these sunflowers up and feed the soil back, but the roots of sunflowers go really, really deeply, so it helps with the soil quality. These are pepper plants. There's ancho here in the front, and in the back, those are green peppers. I put them here so they can get some shade during the heat of the day because the canopy is here. Again, you see sunflowers going in the back. Sunflowers are very resilient, should I say. Um, so hopefully we'll get some good peppers. Again, I'll need to weed this stuff back. But we do have pepper plants. They are growing. They are not blooming yet from what I can see. This is cantaloupe. I put it back here thinking it would do great. It vines like crazy. I think it's getting a little too much shade. It's yellowing a bit, but it'll make it. I don't see any fruit yet. I do see some blooms, and I don't see the start of any fruit. So we'll see. Maybe in a few weeks yet we'll start seeing some stuff. Pull these weeds out. This bed I didn't get anything started yet. It was supposed to be cherry tomatoes. Didn't get a chance. Just realized I did not talk about this. This is delicata squash. I decided to grow more this year. I grew a few last year, and I didn't get any. I gave it all away, and everyone was telling me how delicious it is. So let's get in here and take a look. I don't see any fruits yet. Looks like mostly male flowers here. But people were telling me how delicious it was. I only decided to grow it because of a couple of videos I watched about it and that you can eat the skin. So I thought, hey, awesome. As though I love butternut squash, the peeling of the skin and such can be a cumbersome task at times. Here's some cherry tomatoes and some sugar snap peas that I put in. Again, the hope is that these sunflowers will shade the sugar snap peas as they grow up. This trellis I put in, also that the trellis will help support the cherry tomatoes. These are also cherry tomatoes in the cups. Just haven't gotten around to getting them in the ground because they were supposed to go there. And as you can see, that needs to be weeded. Those are actually self-seeded tomatoes because we had beefsteak tomatoes in that area last year. And I decided not to do that there. So again, this is the other side of the fence. As you can see, the butternut squash is taking over. I wish I would have posted the original video and you see the little butternut squash plants we put in. But again, eventually this thing will produce like crazy. And the Native Americans or indigenous people, whatever you want to call them, I really don't care. But they survived off of corn and squashes because they were stable. Very, very stable and did not need refrigeration. So again, this is the cucumber, and if I do a good job at not damaging this plant, I can trellis this up and get some production. But for now, this is one plant, and this is another plant. That's a different plant, so it's two different plants. But this side, I'll have to get up, maybe prune some back, and we can get good production. Same thing's happening over here. I can prune this back if I wish, or I can let it grow. Preferably, you don't want your fruits on the ground. What happens is the bugs go after them because they're accessible. So this is just half of the garden, guys. The other half of the garden, I've done virtually nothing because I have been busy with a new job. And secondly, I was in a car accident in October of 2025, which left me in therapy for a while. And I never got a chance to put this place to bed properly. And so that is overgrown by weeds. I still have old things that need to be cleaned up. It's my wood pile. Unfortunately, it looks like mushrooms are growing on it, so I might not be able to use it. But these are two of the grow tables I did. I'm gonna do more. That's why we still have this stack of pallets. We need to finish this fence. I need to get rid of this, which requires me to get a bigger chainsaw because the chainsaw that I have is just not powerful enough to. I could cut through this stuff, but it's taking a little longer, taking too long. And then there are pieces like that that are huge that I just would rather have a bigger, more powerful chainsaw to deal with. Not gonna get rid of the old one. I'm gonna keep it, because two is one and one is none, as they say in the preparedness world. I did put some squash plants in here. I do not recall what they were, unfortunately. I'll just take on the happy surprise. This is a kale plant that self-seeded. Pretty sure that's a squash plant I put in. I have a bunch of weeds everywhere that I need to clean up, as you can see. Have this, that's the old compost piles here. And now it's overgrown with weeds because, again, I haven't been here. Well, I've been here, but the priority has been to focus on that half of the garden, and then worry about getting this in compliance over time. But originally, I did a lot of work over here. We had a lot of stuff going on over here. But this side gets a lot more shade than the other side, and you need sun to grow food. So that's that. Um, that was originally a grow table that's gonna need to get repaired. As you can see, it's kind of leaning. I didn't brace it properly. I should have. I didn't. I went with it just to have a place to work. It's a work and grow table. Um, just made creating raised beds and cutting lumber easier without having to be on the ground. This tree, this tree here has been leaning for the last 3 years. I need to get that taken care of, which requires me to get this out of here. That tree here in the back, this happened over winter. So that wasn't like that. So that fell with the storms over winter of 2025 into January 2026. But again, if you look at this, just weeds, 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 weeds. So I got to get in here. What I'll probably do is just cut all this back and tarp it and deal with it next year. There are marigolds growing here amongst the weeds and old kale. The kale, again, is another resilient plant. I had put in blueberries along this, and I've let the weeds get out of hand. I also planted sunflowers in here the second year. Probably not the best idea because, again, unless you control where the seeds drop and get things moved out of here, as you see them grow up, they will take over. So the blueberries, although they are still alive, so you can see that's the red leaves. That means it's not, the soil is not acidic enough for it. Even though they are surviving, they are not producing because I haven't taken care of them properly. So that's a thing that I may try to do is dig these up and move them to a place where I can protect them better. Here's another blueberry here. And like I said, guys, the trash. This is one of the reasons for the fence, because the trash and people not caring about the environment is a big thing. So I'm constantly cleaning this place, constantly. The only thing I put in this garden that people may be concerned about is the cardboard. The cardboard is biodegradable, and the worms eat it. So this area was filled with weeds too, and I cleaned it up a bit. But with all the rain we've had at the end of June, everything, all the weeds that I pulled, grown back, because I created 3 new compost piles, which were higher than the fence. And with all the rain and the moisture and such, everything has matted down. This is rather new compost pile started, but these are the 3 piles since I put this fence up. The goal is to compost these sections, and next year these sections could be used to plant something. I know that might seem weird, but the fact of the matter is, if this stuff breaks down, it's in the sun, that's why I put it here too, it breaks down real well. Anything that's bulky and such on the top can be screened through some wire mesh, and we can leave the good compost there, and we can plant in that. And then so the following year, we could compost those areas over there. So you want to use regenerative practices. You want to put nutrition back, or nutrients back, into the soil. This video has been 21 minutes so far. I'm going to stop there and say this one last thing. The original goal, one of the visions I had for this place, was that this shaded area, that we could build a sit-down area where community members could come, meet, and talk about different ways to help each other and work together to our advantage. That's the vision of the Baltimore Carpenters project. That's what I'm working on. I hope you guys will continue to support the journey, watch the channel, subscribe. You don't have to, but I'd like you to. I want to inspire and encourage you to do something like this. If it's not gardening, maybe it's sewing. If it's not sewing, maybe it's art. Maybe it's music. Something that you can share that's positive to help people work together, because the days are getting more difficult every year. Okay? But we can work together to make everyone's lives just a little bit better. Can we change the world? Maybe not. But you can change your local community. That's where you have the most impact. Anyway, guys, good day and God bless.